In this video, I will give you 10 quick tips on how to save money as a student in Finland. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Oliver and I'm a master's student in economics at Aalto University in Finland. And on this channel, we talk about education and early career development, specifically here in Finland. So if you're new here, do consider subscribing. Before we jump into today's topic, let me thank HOAS for sponsoring this video. HOAS, or the Foundation for Student Housing in the Helsinki region, is one of the largest providers of student accommodation in the Helsinki metropolitan area. I've personally been living in their apartments throughout my studies, and I really recommend that you guys apply for their apartments. Links to apply in the description box below. Also, just before we jump into the first tip, I just want to mention that I will not be talking about things like sticking to your budget or cutting off impulse purchases or any of the other obvious stuff that you can find on the first page of Google. We are all adults here and these should be obvious enough to everyone. And instead, here are 10 specific tips on saving money as a student in Finland without compromising your university experience. So, first and the most obvious tip of them all is to apply for a student apartment. Accommodation is, surprise, surprise, the most expensive part of living in Finland, and being granted a student apartment can save you thousands of euros per year. While the prices of student apartments vary quite a lot between cities and different types of apartments, a good rule of thumb is that renting an apartment from the private market can easily cost you more than double compared to what you would pay for a student apartment. I've made multiple videos explaining student accommodation in Finland, and if you're interested in this topic, please check out this playlist for more information. Also, if you're applying to study in the Helsinki metropolitan area, I really recommend that you check out the apartments from the sponsor of this video, HOAS. Links in the description box below. The second tip for saving money as a student: to buy or rent recycled furniture. So while buying furniture from stores like IKEA is relatively cheap, getting your furniture second-hand can still save you hundreds of euros when you move into the country. There are a number of companies and organizations selling and renting out second-hand furniture in each major university city. But as an example, if you are coming to Helsinki, I really recommend that you guys check out the Helsinki Reuse Center and the volunteer-run Reuse and Rescue that operates from the Aalto University campus. Links to both in the description box below. The third tip is to utilize your local student restaurants and their discounted student meals. Student meals in Finland are heavily subsidized by the government and they're extremely cheap, while at the same time being very high quality. Usually student restaurants offer different options for lunch, but the normal price for a meal is around €2.60 a pop. Considering that you have to eat every day, having a lunch at the campus or at any of the other student restaurants around the city is a great way to save money on a day-to-day basis. Next up, in addition to student meals, a great way to save money in food is utilizing surplus food services. This is actually a pretty new and a growing trend in Finland, and the basic idea is that restaurants and grocery stores sell their excess food at a heavily discounted price because that food would otherwise go to waste. So to utilize this trend, I recommend that you download the Rescue Club mobile app that is available for iOS and Android. Rescue has been one of the first movers in this market in Finland, and I really recommend trying them out. The app basically gives you a list of portions that are available close to your location, and when you find something good, you can pay for it directly in the app and then collect the food from the restaurant or store yourself. Next tip to save money is to use your student discounts for public transportation tickets. This applies to both local transportation like buses, trams, trains, and the metro, as well as to the national train network. The local discounts vary somewhat between cities, but for example, in the Helsinki metropolitan area, the students get 45% off of public transportation tickets. Meanwhile, all students in Finland get the same discounted train tickets with a 30% discount of long-distance trains and 50% discount of commuter trains. Next trick to save money is by utilizing university sports facilities or discounts provided by your university. So gym memberships in Finland can be crazy expensive, and utilizing student sports services is a great way to save a huge amount of money in the long term. As an example, if I want to get a simple gym membership without any group exercises, an annual subscription to a popular private gym chain in the Helsinki metropolitan area comes at around 650 euros per year after using a 20% student discount. So without the student discount, the price is closer to 850 euros per year. So the cheaper option here is to use your local student sports services. For example, in the Helsinki area, Unisport, which provides these services and a gym memberships to students at Aalto University, Helsinki University or Hanken School of Business, has an annual membership that costs only 147 euros. And in my experience, these student sports facilities are fully competitive in terms of quality, and I simply couldn't justify using any other gyms while being an active student. Next, if you are a party person, it is good to know that clubs in Finland are very expensive. So not only can the entrance fees be quite high, but most importantly, alcohol in Finland is just stupid expensive. To put this into perspective, it is really not that difficult to burn 100 euros at a club in one evening. And of course, these costs can rack up really quickly if you like to go out often. If you still insist on going to parties, an easy way to save a lot of money is by prioritizing student parties. So some of these parties are organized in cooperation with local nightclubs, so basically the same places you would go to anyways. However, student parties in these clubs usually have exclusive entrance to students only, free or a very low entrance fee, and heavily discounted drinks. However, most student parties are organized by student organizations themselves, and they are organized in their own premises. The tickets to many of these parties not only cover the entrance fee, but depending on the event itself, also food and beverages. However, these are usually not your ordinary club dance parties, but rather something that is very unique to the Finnish student culture. I will talk more about these different student events in Finland in future videos, so do make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss them when I get them online. Next, I'm sure that many of you want to take the opportunity to travel not only around Finland, but also around the world. So whether you want to go on a hiking trip to Lapland, skiing in the Alps, or sailing in the Mediterranean, you can always find a student organization that is organizing these kind of trips for a very low price. These trips are not only cheap because they are organized for large groups, but also because the clubs organizing these trips are heavily subsidized by their respective student unions. In addition, many of these organizations and clubs have corporate partners sponsoring these trips by covering some of the expenses. Next up, when you subscribe to utilities like electricity or water for your apartment, make sure to ask for a student-priced plan. Most utility companies actually offer discounted plans for students, and these savings can rack up to hundreds of euros per year when put together. Finally, the last trick to save some money as a student in Finland is by buying student-priced insurances. As with many of the other services mentioned in this video, a large portion of insurance companies in Finland offer discounted plans for students. This comes in handy especially when you buy a home insurance for your student apartment, a thing that you should definitely do, or when buying travel insurance for a trip abroad. And of course, when you're buying an insurance, make sure to call multiple companies, ask for a student price, and compare those offers to get the best deal. Anyways, I could go on and on about different ways to save money, but rather than doing that, my final tip is to always check for student discounts, no matter if you're eating at a restaurant, hanging out in a bar, buying a phone subscription, or planning a trip abroad. There are hundreds of opportunities to save money as a student in Finland, but in this video I really want to highlight those that will most likely have the most impact on your personal finances during your studies here. Alright, that is it for these tips, but before we end this video, I'd really like to answer some of your questions from my previous uploads. Alright, so in my video about student health services in Finland, Olamide asked if I have any suggestions on health insurance. What she is referring to is that as a student coming from abroad to Finland, you actually need to have a health insurance that is accepted by the Finnish Immigration Service in order for you to get a residence permit. The answer to the question is no, I don't have a recommendation for a health insurance, but I have the links either in the description box below or actually somewhere here on the screen to the website provided by the Immigration Service, where you can actually see what kind of health insurances they actually accept. Also, in my video about the top 5 things about Aalto University, sorry for butchering this name, Sue Rabal asked if I can list sports facilities. This is a bit of a tough question because there are different sports facility and service providers for each university and each city. One of them is Unisport that I mentioned in this video, that is specifically providing sports services in the Helsinki metropolitan area. I'm actually working on a separate video about student sport facilities and services in Finland, and I will have it online in a couple of weeks. If you want an answer to that question, make sure to subscribe to the channel for future videos. That is everything for this video. If you found this video helpful, do give it a thumbs up and share with a friend who might have use for this information. Also, if you have anything to ask about this or any other topic related to studying in Finland, write them down in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.